There are nights that feel different, not louder, not dramatic, just different. A stillness that presses gently against your chest, a knowing that something is shifting beneath the surface of everything you can see. Tonight is one of those nights. Tonight is April 14th. And if you are here, watching this, feeling what you are feeling right now, that is not a coincidence. That is a calling. 3 days from now, a new moon rises in Aries and presses the reset button on your entire energetic field. But tonight is the last night before that happens. Tonight is the final exhale, and you are meant to be awake for it. There is a quietness that has settled over you recently, not the kind of quiet that comes from rest or from peace or from having finally figured something out. This is a different kind of silence. It arrived without announcement. It moved into the spaces between your thoughts and made itself at home there. And you have probably been wondering what it means, whether something is wrong with you, whether you are pulling away from the world for a reason you cannot yet name, whether this stillness is a symptom of something breaking down inside of you. It is not. What you are feeling is one of the most sacred energetic states a human being can move through. It has a name in the language of the cosmos. It is the void. And on April 14th, with the moon reduced to just a thin sliver of light in the pre-dawn sky, only 12% illuminated, the entire energetic field of this planet is saturated with it. The waning crescent moon, in its final hours before disappearing entirely, pulls the world inward. It does not ask. It does not negotiate. It simply draws everything that is ready to be released down into the depths. The way the tide pulls back from the shore before a wave of extraordinary size and force returns, you have been feeling that pull. It may have looked like a desire to cancel plans, to sit alone, to turn off the noise. It may have felt like an inexplicable need to be still, to say less, to stop performing the version of yourself that the outside world expects. Some of you have been sleeping more, some of you have not been sleeping at all. Some of you have found yourselves standing in a room, forgetting what you came for, feeling strangely suspended between who you were and who you are becoming. All of it, every single thread of that experience, is the void doing its sacred work inside of you. The ancient ones knew this phase of the moon well, across traditions, across centuries, across cultures that never shared a language. They all arrived at the same understanding, that the days just before the new moon are not days of emptiness, they are days of completion. The soul, in its infinite wisdom, knows that something new is coming. And so it begins, quietly and without drama, to make space. It releases its grip on the stories that have run their course. It loosens the identities that no longer fit. It sits in the silence not because it has given up, but because it is preparing. And here is what you need to understand about tonight specifically. The quiet you are feeling is not just the ordinary waning crescent energy, it is amplified, it is deepened. Because Jupiter, the great magnifier, the planet of expansion and emotional abundance, is currently moving through Cancer, the most feeling-centered sign in all of the zodiac. Jupiter in Cancer does not allow anything to remain small. It takes whatever is already present in your emotional landscape and stretches it, deepens it, makes it impossible to ignore. So the quiet you are feeling tonight is not a small quiet. It is a vast one. It has weight, it has texture, it carries inside of it every unspoken thing you have been holding for longer than you realize. Do not be afraid of this silence. Do not rush to fill it with noise or distraction or the company of people who cannot yet feel what you feel. The silence is not the absence of something. The silence is the presence of everything that is about to begin. What moves into stillness before transformation is not dying, it is listening. Something has been rising in your chest tonight. You may have noticed it arriving without warning, The way weather moves in across an open field, suddenly present, impossible to ignore, and carrying no clear explanation for why it chose this particular moment to appear. It might feel like grief, but you cannot point to a loss. It might feel like longing, but you cannot name what you are longing for. It might feel like love and sadness existing in the same breath, pressing behind your eyes, sitting heavy in your throat, asking to be felt without offering you a reason why. You are not falling apart. What is moving through you tonight is not dysfunction. It is not a sign that something has gone wrong in your inner world or that you are regressing on your path. What is moving through you tonight is the energetic equivalent of a deep internal tide, and it is being driven by one of the most powerful amplifying forces in the cosmos right now. Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, is currently traveling through the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is the sign of the emotional body, the inner world, the ancestral memory, the place where every feeling you have ever suppressed, postponed, or politely set aside has been quietly waiting for exactly this kind of permission to surface. Jupiter does not amplify gently. Jupiter expands everything it touches to its fullest possible expression. And in Cancer, that means your emotional world tonight is not operating at its ordinary volume. It has been turned up. It has been stretched wide open. Every feeling that has been circling beneath the surface of your daily life, the ones you told yourself you would deal with later, the ones you buried under productivity and routine and the performance of being fine, Jupiter is calling all of them forward now, not to punish you, not to overwhelm you, but because what is not felt cannot be released, and what is not released cannot be replaced by something new. This is the mechanism behind tonight's energy that most people will never understand. The new moon in Aries arrives in 3 days, and the Aries new moon is one of the most electrically charged new beginning energies of the entire year. A cosmic ignition point, the first new moon of the astrological new year. A moment when intention becomes seed and seed becomes destiny. But here is what the universe understands that the logical mind forgets. You cannot plant in uncleared ground. You cannot magnetize a new reality while your energy is still tangled in the roots of the old one. And so tonight, on this final waning crescent night, Jupiter in Cancer is doing the clearing work for you, whether you consciously invited it or not. The emotion rising in you right now is not random. It is not a bad day bleeding into an overthinking evening. It is your soul, guided by the intelligence of the cosmos, surfacing exactly what needs to move through you and out of you before the new moon arrives and plants its seeds in the field of your future. The grief is clearing grief. The longing is clearing longing. The unnamed heaviness is clearing the weight of a chapter that your higher self already knows is finished, even if your conscious mind has not yet caught up. So tonight, do not reach for the phone to distract yourself from what you feel. Do not pour another drink or turn on another show or find another way to postpone this sacred appointment with your own emotional truth. Sit with what is rising. Breathe into it. Let it move the way water moves. Not forced, not suppressed, but flowing in the direction it was always meant to go. What you feel tonight and choose to release, the new moon will never ask you to carry again. There are thoughts that keep returning to you, not new thoughts, old ones, faces you had stopped thinking about, conversations that ended months or years ago and yet have somehow found their way back to the front of your mind tonight, replaying with a clarity that feels almost too vivid, too present, too alive for something that is supposed to be in the past. Moments you thought you had made peace with, decisions you thought you had accepted, versions of yourself you thought you had outgrown, and yet here they are, arriving uninvited, sitting down across from you in the quiet of this evening, as though they have something left to say. You have probably been wondering why. you may have told yourself that you are overthinking, that you are being pulled backward when you should be moving forward. That revisiting these things means you have not healed as much as you believed, and that thought, that quiet, aching suspicion that you are somehow behind, somehow stuck, somehow failing at the very journey your soul chose. That thought is perhaps the heaviest one of all, but I need you to hear this clearly, because what is actually happening inside your mind tonight is not regression. It is not weakness. It is one of the most intelligent and loving things your soul knows how to do. Your soul is conducting its final audit. Before every major new beginning, before every genuine energetic reset, the soul moves through the archive of your lived experience and retrieves everything that still carries an unresolved charge. Not to torture you, not to reopen wounds for the sake of pain, but because unresolved energy does not disappear when we stop looking at it. It simply travels with us, invisible and heavy, shaping the choices we make and the realities we magnetize without ever understanding why certain patterns refuse to break. Tonight, on April 14th, with the moon at its thinnest and the cosmos holding its breath 3 days before the Aries new moon, your soul has been given a window, and it is using every moment of it. The Mercury and Uranus connection active in the sky right now is accelerating this process in your mind specifically. Mercury governs thought, memory, and the way we process and communicate our inner experience. Uranus governs awakening, sudden revelation, and the breaking open of what was sealed. Together, in the harmonious aspect they are currently forming, they are creating a direct channel between your subconscious archives and your conscious awareness. What this means in the language of lived experience is that the memories surfacing tonight are not surfacing randomly. They are being specifically selected and delivered to you by a version of yourself that exists beyond ordinary thinking, a version that can see clearly what still needs to be completed before you step into the new timeline waiting for you at the new moon. Look at what keeps returning, look at the face that appears, look at the moment that replays, and instead of pushing it away or analyzing it into abstraction, ask yourself one simple question. What feeling does this memory carry that I have never fully allowed myself to feel? Because that feeling, that specific, particular, your unnamed emotional frequency still living inside that memory, is precisely what the universe is asking you to acknowledge tonight. Not to relive, not to regret, not to rebuild. Simply to feel fully and without flinching, so that it can complete its journey through you and finally, at last, be set free. The mind that keeps returning to the past tonight is not a mind that is broken. It is a mind that is being extraordinarily brave. Brave enough to look at what most people spend a lifetime avoiding, brave enough to sit with the unfinished chapters, brave enough to give every unspoken feeling the witnessing it always deserved. What your mind revisits tonight with love, your soul releases forever before dawn. Your body has been trying to tell you something. Perhaps you noticed it last night, or the night before, the way sleep arrived strangely, or did not arrive at all. The way you woke at an unusual hour and lay in the darkness with your eyes open, feeling alert in a way that had nothing to do with caffeine or worry, feeling tuned to a frequency just beyond the reach of ordinary waking life. Perhaps you have felt it in your skin, a subtle buzzing, a warmth moving through your arms or your chest without a physical source. Perhaps it has shown up as an inability to settle, a restlessness that follows you from room to room, a feeling that your body wants to move but cannot identify where it wants to go. You are not imagining it. What your body is responding to tonight is real. It is measurable in the language of the cosmos, even if it cannot yet be measured in the language of science. Because on April 14th, something extraordinary begins in the sky above you, something that happens only once a year in this precise window, radiating from one of the brightest and most spiritually significant stars in the entire night sky. The Lyrid meteor shower opens its portal today. For the first time this season, debris. Vega is not an ordinary star to those who understand the deeper language of the cosmos. It is one of the 5 brightest stars visible from Earth. It has been used for navigation, for timekeeping, for sacred orientation across ancient traditions that span every inhabited continent. In the mystical understanding of the sky, Vega carries a frequency associated with divine resonance, with soul memory, with the kind of knowing that arrives not through study, but through direct transmission. The knowing that lands in the body before the mind has any chance to intercept it. And tonight, as the Lyrids activate for the first time, Vega's frequency is streaming toward this planet with a clarity and intensity that the most sensitive among us, the ones who have always felt the sky as something alive and communicative, will register not with their eyes, but with their entire being. This is why your body cannot settle. This is why your sleep has been fractured and strange. This is why you feel simultaneously exhausted and electrically awake, as though every cell in your physical form is oriented toward something it cannot see but absolutely knows is there. Your body is an antenna, it always has been. And the chosen ones, the ones who came into this life already wired for sensitivity, already carrying the awareness that the physical world is only one layer of a much vaster reality, feel incoming cosmic frequencies not as abstract ideas, but as lived, your embodied sensation. The restlessness is reception. The sleeplessness is attunement. The buzzing beneath your skin is your nervous system translating starfire into feeling. Do not reach for something to calm it prematurely. Do not pathologize the aliveness moving through you as though it is a problem requiring a solution. What you are feeling in your body tonight is the universe making direct contact with your physical form, bypassing every mental filter, every learned doubt, every voice that was ever used to convince you that you are too sensitive, too dramatic, too much. Your body was built for exactly this level of feeling. It was designed to receive exactly this kind of transmission. Go outside tonight if you are able. Stand under the open sky. Let the air touch your face and your hands. Look upward. Ardor, even if you cannot see the meteors yet, even if the light is too faint and the hour is too early, because Vega is already there, already radiating, already sending forward the frequencies that your body has been restlessly, faithfully, beautifully waiting to receive. A body that cannot sleep before a cosmic portal is not a body that is broken. It is a body that is already awake. You have arrived at the final section of this night. Not just the final section of this video, the final hours of this particular cosmic chapter. And I want you to sit with that for a moment, truly sit with it, because what is ending tonight is not small. What is completing itself in the hours between now and the new moon that rises in 3 days is a version of your story that you have been living for longer than you perhaps realize. A chapter defined by certain weights, certain wounds, certain waiting. A chapter in which you carried things that were never meant to be permanent, beliefs about your worth, fears about your future, grief from losses that changed the shape of your life, hopes that were deferred so many times that you quietly stopped calling them hopes and started calling them impossibilities. Tonight, the cosmos is asking you to put all of it down, not forcefully, not through an act of willpower or discipline or the grinding effort of someone who has decided to simply be better. The universe is not asking you to fix yourself tonight. It is asking you to trust it. It is asking you to understand in the deepest and most cellular way that the waning crescent moon does not simply mark the end of a lunar cycle. It marks the end of an energetic identity. Every cycle that closes under the dark of the moon takes with it the frequency of what you are carrying. If you are willing to release it consciously, if you are willing to meet this moment with the openness of someone who understands that they are standing at a threshold and not simply in another forgettable evening, because this evening is not forgettable. April 14th is the last night before the final day, before the new moon. It is the outermost edge of the old timeline, and everything you feel tonight, the quiet, the rising emotion, the memories that returned, the restlessness in your body, the unnamed knowing that something is shifting, all of it has been leading to this single sacred act, release. Not the release of giving up, the release of giving over. Handing back to the universe everything that was borrowed, everything that served its purpose, everything that taught you what it came to teach and has now completed its contract with your soul. Jupiter in Cancer will not let you release halfway tonight. Its expansive, emotionally magnifying presence in the sky ensures that what you feel completely, and what you release from the root. This is not comfortable. Genuine release rarely is, but it is extraordinary, and you are built for extraordinary, which is precisely why you are here, awake, watching this, feeling every word land somewhere deeper than your mind on the last night before everything changes. So here is what I want you to do before this night is over. Find a moment of stillness, even 5 minutes, even 3. Sit with your hands open in your lap, palms facing upward, in the physical posture of receiving and releasing simultaneously. Breathe slowly and with intention, and in the privacy of your own inner world, speak to the universe without words. Let your soul communicate what it is ready to surrender. The relationship that ended and still lives in your chest. The version of yourself you kept apologizing for. The dream you buried because someone else could not see it. The anger you justified for so long it began to feel like identity. The fear that arrived so early in your life that you mistook it for truth. Let it go. Not because you are weak, but because you are ready. Not because it did not matter, but because you have grown larger than it. Not because the past was not real, but because the future is more real still. And it is waiting, luminous and vast, and already written in the light of the new moon, for you to arrive unencumbered and whole. The Aries new moon does not plant seeds in burdened soil. It plants them in open hands and cleared hearts and souls, brave enough to have sat through the last night before everything changes, and chosen consciously and completely to let the old world go. What you release tonight under the dark of the moon, the stars will replace with something you have not yet had words to ask for.